Alice with Asian in New York. I'm here today with the very stylish Gillian, also known as Mama G. She is a creative consultant and also the director of MODA. And I was wondering if you could just tell us about, introduce yourself.
MODA is actually Malaysian Official Designers Association. It's been around for 21 years in Malaysia. For me, as a creative consultant, it's because my real job is actually doing creative, advice to a lot of corporations. And at the meantime, as the president of the association, so I do a lot of counseling and a lot of teaching for the young generation. Hopefully my advice can bring the new generation to the next level, understanding the rules and regulations and the system, how it works in the fashion industry. Because you know how it is, fashion industry is very complex. And it's full of what do you call it, excitement, and also it can be very depressed at times, you know. So I will prepare them if they have a lot of questions about the industry and how it works, and at the same time supporting different events in Malaysia, so that the young generation can experience the trade. For me, I'm more encouraging the young designers actually more for the business side, because my strength is more on the business side, like merchandising, the operations, the productions, the costings. So I hope that my expertise can give them a hand. So, and also to encourage the young designers to come forward and ask more questions, because a lot of them think that they already know how of the business, but actually there's so much more to be learned. And at the same time, also I will try to gather all the information like New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, Singapore Fashion Week, especially the ASEAN countries, and hopefully I can link certain designers to the trade so that they have more experience. Yeah.
I was wondering, like, how did you get started in fashion?
Oh wow, this is
you are now.
Yeah, I love New York. New York is like my second home because I came here in 1983. 1983, can you believe it? I went to FIT New York. I started off as in accounting, in all mathematics, because at that time fashion is not considered a profession. So my father is really against it. But actually I went to Canada for high school first, and I kind of sneaked myself to New York and sneaked myself to school, and making sure that I actually do fashion as a profession, not as a passion, not as a hobby, because passion can only lead you to some stage, but hard working and determination and perseverance, it was hard work. And because at time I have to work 3 jobs to maintain my other lifestyle, and also school, to pay the tuition and all that. So it was very hard. But like I said, you got to have determination. So I was here at that time for 6 years. After school, I worked for a leather company. I interned in different corporations, and then I went home, and it was just for transition, because I want to come back to New York. But then I won the first AsianInNY Designer Competition in Singapore 1989, and then I was picked up by Isetan of Japan, and after that, like 10 years, I was working very hard as a coordinator, became the fashion design director, and with that expertise, I do a lot of consultancy work after that with China and Malaysian in the fashion industry and corporations, and at the same time, I'm enrolling myself like with MODA to do great things for the community. So my life has been a full. So I always believe live life to the fullest. So there you go.
You have so much energy. It's amazing what
well,
you've done.
I hope that my passion, and I can be a role model to a lot of young designers, or those who want to be a designer. Like for example, recently there's a mother calling me saying that the daughter is not interested in accounting anymore and wants to pursue her career in fashion. So I talked to the daughter and said to her that since she is ready in accounting, and she should finish her degree and not wasting it, because education, as far as I'm concerned, is the most important thing. It's not just about designing, but you also have to know calculations, because for me calculation is very important in terms of how business. So I told her that after she has to finish that degree in accounting, and then after that she can actually, I will advise her again on what's the next step, which school to go to, according to the budgets and all that, and what's the next step and so forth. So it's it depends on individual, like I said. So like me, and some of my friends went to St. Martin's and all that, and they stay in London, and of course I will wish that I can move back to New York, but meantime I'm quite hands-on back in Malaysia, yes.
So what are your plans now? Like, where do you see yourself in like the next few years?
Oh wow, yeah, it's amazing questions, because every time I tell myself I want to not do anything, just go shopping and just do community service. But every time I get so much involved, because there's so many parties always asking me, like now, next year Cambodia is we are holding the first Asia Young Designer arena in Cambodia, so they want to collaborate and see how we work together. So every time there's a project coming on, it's great. In a way, I feel very enthusiastic about it, and that's keep me going. But another part of me, every time I'm in it, I'm like, I'm so tired. So the next plan is, like I mentioned before, I would love to have my own TV program that will benefit not just designers. I'm actually more into a creative, artists, singers, and fashion designers, or a creative side, so that the trade, like understanding, able to give advice on TV across the nations to gather more information for different lifestyle. So I think that it's very beneficial for people who doesn't know a lot of the industry.
Okay, that sounds really wonderful, and thank you for your time today.